Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, I'm KingNido and today we're coming in from Burbank City where we have two Elite Four sides. They both made it into the Elite Four last season and they're both currently sitting in the Elite Four, as it is the Plasma hosting the Ula Macros, and the rivalry between this side is running deep. So with that said, let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win this matchup. Will it be the Poison types? Will it be the Steel types? Let's go! But for the Steel types, it was them who ended the Plasma's 9-game win streak last season, but it was the Plasma who knocked the Macros out of Victory Road, as it is Hisui and Goodra and Excadrill starting out for the Macros, but it is Overquill with that Intimidate ability, and the Alolan Muck starting out for the Burbank Plasma, but immediately Excadrill is going to go for the Stuff Chokes after being on the receiving end of that Intimidate from Overquill here to lower that physical attack. And Overquill is going to go with the Dragon Breath, capitalizing on that part Dragon typing of Goodra. Not that it did that much damage, but it's left it with that paralysis, so it is going to slow it down and possibly make it unable to move, as Muck follows up with the Shadow Punch, doing very little damage there to Excadrill. But Goodra is paralyzed, so it is unable to move, so Excadrill has to do all the work going with the String Shot. This is going to greatly lower the speed of both Muck and Overquill here on the field, which could actually be good for Goodra if it can make it move quicker. But Overquill, still faster than Goodra, goes for the Aero Blast, but that is going to be avoided by Excadrill. But Goodra is now quicker than Muck, and it goes with the Teleport, so it is going to go back to the bench, and out in its place, it is going to be King Gambit, as Muck goes with the U-turn. So now Muck is going to go back to the bench, both these sides, deciding that their starting Pokemon were not what they were after, as it is going to be Glamora now coming out for the Burbank Plasma. Excadrill still with that speed control, goes with the bulk up here, so it's going to restore that physical attack that had been lowered, as well as boosting that defense here, as Glamora is going to go for the play rough onto King Gambit, trying to capitalize on that part Dark typing, but it responds with the Metal Burst, capitalizing on already having taken damage from Glamora. Overquill though is going to go for the Moonlight, which unfortunately is going to fail because Overquill is still at full strength, and this allows Excadrill to go for the Brave Bird. It will get some recoil damage, but gets in a fantastic connection there onto Overquill, as Glamora is going to go for the Power Gem, continuing to focus in onto King Gambit here with that not very effective damage, still getting in some good work, as King Gambit responds with the Esper Wing, super effective there onto Glamora, and getting a speed boost there for King Gambit, as well as Overquill goes with the block, still focusing in on Excadrill, making it so it can no longer escape, but it was not looking to run away anywhere, immediately responding by setting up the Reflect here on the side of the Macros, making them stronger against physical moves, and Glamora is going to go for the rollout. This is not going to be very effective, practically doing nothing there to Excadrill, allowing King Gambit to go for the Dragon Darts, putting Glamora into knockout range with that first one, getting in some good damage onto Overquill, who does respond with the Blue Flare. This will be super effective, and King Gambit is taken out of this matchup. The Burbank Plasma get the first one on the board. And Goodra does come back out onto the field, as Excadrill goes with the Cosmic Power, continuing to boost these stats, boosting that defense once again, as well as boosting that special defense. But that rollout does continue to do very minimal damage from Glamora. It's meant to get stronger every time, but it does not look like that's the case, as the Poison Jab from Overquill, but it's not going to work on the Steel types. They are immune, but again, Goodra is paralyzed. It was set up so early on in this matchup. Excadrill having to do all this heavy lifting, goes for the Flamethrower, and this is going to take Glamora out of this matchup. Not very effective, but effective enough to tie up this game at 5v5. And we get the Iron Head now, doing very little damage from Overquill to Excadrill there, and once again Goodra is paralyzed on the side of the Macros, as it is Muck coming back out onto the field. Excadrill with the Roar of Time, immediately meeting the Alolan form that came out onto the field, who does respond with a super effective Mud Shot there, finally getting some good damage onto Excadrill, lowering its speed in the process, as well as Overquill is going to follow it up with the Kowtow Cleave, the signature move of King Gambit, who's already been eliminated, and Goodra responds with the Spark, putting Overquill into knockout range, as Excadrill has to recharge. This allows Muck to go for the Iron Tail there. Not very effective on Goodra, but doing that chip damage, as it's followed up by Overquill going for the Shadow Punch, also going for Goodra there, as well as Goodra is able to shake off his paralysis, going with the Flame Wheel onto Muck, getting some good chip damage there, as that Reflect does wear off for the Macros. Excadrill goes with the Vine Whip, not very effective there onto Muck, and this allows Muck to respond with the Stored power, more not very effective damage being done in this matchup as Overquill goes for the Bleak Wind Storm, but it is going to be avoided by Excadrill and avoided by Goodra. This opens the door for Goodra to try and capitalize. It goes with the Matcha Gotcha, but that's going to be avoided by Overquill. It is going to do damage though to Muck. Surely it might have eliminated Overquill in this matchup. There is a little bit of health being restored for Goodra in the process there, and it's followed up by Excadrill going with the Dragon Cheer. This could be critical, getting Goodra pumped here on the field. Surely they need to take Overquill out of this match as Muck goes and sets up the Sandstorm. That is not good for the Verbank Plasma because the Steel types won't be taking damage from that. We get the Frost Breath though from Overquill onto Excadrill, putting it into knockout range with that critical hit as the Dragon Darts from Goodra takes out Overquill. But that was also going to activate that Power of Alchemy ability that Muck has, so it's going to take on the Intimidate, and that's going to activate before the second Dragon Darts is able to shoot off from Goodra. This may actually keep Muck in this matchup because it lowers that physical attack of Goodra, putting Muck into knockout range. It's still in this matchup even after taking damage here from this Sandstorm. It is able to hold on as out comes Tentacruel for the Verbank Plasma, and immediately it goes with the Seismic Toss. Some great consistent damage, putting Goodra into knockout range. Excadrill though sets up a Perish Song. Very questionable play, but it must be knowing it's in knockout range, as is Goodra here. The Poison Sting from Muck is not going to work on the Steel types. This allows Goodra to try and capitalize here, going for the Superpower onto Tentacruel, who was at full strength. That not very effective damage though, gets the critical hit, getting in a great connection, lowering that physical attack and physical defense of Goodra, as well as that Sandstorm continues to do damage to the Poison types that again, it was set up by Muck. The Ula macros want to avenge their Victory Road loss here to the Plasma as that Perish count starts to fall to 3 for everybody on the field as Tentacruel with that speed control goes for the Nightshade, and it is going to take Goodra out of this matchup with some more consistent damage being done there. And Excadrill is shedding those fake tears. That is going to lower that special defense a great deal of Tentacruel as Muck goes with the Weather Ball, trying to capitalize on that Sandstorm being in effect, but still not very effective. And Excadrill is still holding on in this matchup as that Sandstorm is going to do damage to Tentacruel, but it's going to take Muck out, putting the Ula macros back in front here, and it was set up by Muck. And again, that Perish Song that was set up by Excadrill now only focuses in on that, and Tentacruel is out comes Lucario for the macros. It's Toxtricity coming out for the Verbank Plasma. Tentacruel with the Blood Moon is going to finish off Excadrill, immediately leveling the playing field with that not very effective damage, and now Tentacruel is the only one that's going to feel the effects of that Perish Song, but it doesn't matter because the Zen Headbutt from Lucario is super effective, and it takes Tentacruel out of this matchup, immediately putting the macros back in front. The Solar Blade is being set up by Toxtricity. It is going to absorb the light on this turn, but the Plasma are at a 2-3 disadvantage right now. As Toxtricity takes damage from the Sandstorm, it is going to be Venusaur as the last Pokemon for the Verbank Plasma. It's going to be Revavroom coming out for the Ula macros. Lucario with the Trop Kick, not very effective there onto Toxtricity, as cool as that did look with Lucario landing that kick. We see Revavroom going for the Water Pulse. They're clearly focusing in onto Toxtricity here, getting in some good damage there as well, and it's going to leave Toxtricity with that Confusion. It may do damage to itself, which will not be good for Venusaur, who goes for the Headbutt. Not very effective there onto Revavroom. Toxtricity needs to shake off this Confusion and not leave Venusaur out there all by itself, but it is unsuccessful, doing damage to itself. There is always sad to see that happen, but the Sandstorm has finally subsided, which is great for the Plasma as the Flail now from Revavroom getting some good damage there onto Toxtricity, but the Healing Wish from Lucario is a very questionable play. This levels the playing field, and I doubt we're going to see an ally switch as the Drill Run follow-up by Venusaur, super effective, and it takes Revavroom out. All of a sudden, the Plasma are in the lead. Toxtricity needs to just not be reckless right now, but it is confused, so it could make a mistake. It does just do damage to itself once again, which is great for the macros, as their last Pokemon is Empoleon. Coming out, Venusaur though with the speed control, immediately Forest Curse, adding that grass typing to Empoleon. It's actually going to make it weak to fire type moves. The Plasma might be coming in with a plan here. They need to focus in, but Toxtricity is still confused. It's able to finally shake it off, going for the Blizzard. not very effective still onto Empoleon. Gets some good damage as Empoleon responds with the Psych Up, copying any stat changes there from Toxtricity, as Venusaur is going to go for the Bone Rush. This multi-hit move, it needs to get all 5 to really get in some good damage on Empoleon. The Burbank Plasma do have the 2-1 lead at the moment, but it's only able to connect for 3. However, Toxtricity has finally snapped out of its confusion. It can go on the offensive. Instead, it sets up the Stealth Rocks. It may actually still be confused if it's gone and setting up entry hazards when no one else will be entering this battle. This allows Empoleon to go with the Haze, eliminating any stat changes here on the field, but this opens the door for Venusaur to try and capitalize. It goes with the Sacred Fire. This will be super effective, and the Burbank Plasma have done it again. They have defeated the Ula Macros, and this is great for the Plasma because they were sitting in 4th place, and this will move them up into 2nd place. But still, the Macros are on top of the leaderboard, and that is 4 of their last 5 games that they have lost, so that is how well ahead they are. But next round, they are going up against the Lava Ridge Flare. I cannot wait for that one, whereas the Plasma will be going up against the Pony Stars. But until then, Nidorina is Nidorino. So thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field, and if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I'll see you when you see me.